Good morning, church. My name is Christy Moore, and today I'd love to share with you my experience with and my understanding of Sabbath. Sabbath can be a tricky thing to talk about at any stage of life, but the stage we're in, young children at home, life can get really busy and really noisy fast, and I'm guessing we're not alone in that. When we first graduated seminary, Brian sat down with his boss, Bert Bagley, who I'm sure most of you know from his time here at First Methodist, and Bert talked with us about the danger he saw facing many clergy. This danger could ensnare any Christian, clergy or otherwise, and he said there would never be a shortage of good or godly things for us to do, that work for a Christian would never be done, and that there would always be those willing for us to expend more time and energy than we had available. Bert had seen firsthand the effects of these things, the burnout, the broken families, the children hardened to churches that they felt stole their parents' attention, due in part to the fact that as people we can so easily forget to Sabbath. When Jesus addressed Sabbath in the scripture, he talked about the legalism that riddled the people of his day. They were enslaved to these rules that went far beyond anything outlined in scripture, and in doing so had lost the heart of the command God gave us to rest. I wonder if today may be equally an opposite to what Jesus saw in his time on earth. We've become ensnared to other things. While the people of Jesus' day were enslaved to this legalism, we've become enslaved to our work and extracurriculars. It's common to hear people brag now about how they're too busy to take vacation, whereas generations before us would brag about the destination of their vacation. Our devices make it far too simple to be connected to work and crisis and email 24/7. And honestly, our bodies and minds and spirits just weren't created for this kind of constant onslaught. So what are we to do if we're not to be ruled by the legalism of Jesus' day or tethered to our work 24/7? Well, for our family, we found that if we stay within the four walls of our home, we're pretty likely to get stuck decluttering, doing chores, or checking emails. So for us, on a Friday or Saturday of the week, we'll go out and spend the day outside as a family, weather permitting. We'll go to the zoo, go for a bike ride, for a hike, and it's amazing how something so simple can become so holy when we take time to recognize our Creator all around us. As often as we can, we take a camping trip, a couple nights, which fully reminds us that we need to unplug and unwind in a different way, in a way that I believe God intended for us when He gave us the gift of Sabbath. That we have to remember that our work, our ministry, our fill in the blank with whatever matters most to you, doesn't fully depend on our effort alone. I think that's a hard thing for us to hear as modern Americans, that our own human effort isn't keeping the whole world spinning. But I think in giving us the gift of Sabbath, God is reminding us to remember, and to remember regularly, that He is in control. That yes, there's a part that we play in our work, but ultimately He's the provider. He is the sustainer. He is the source. And because He is in control, we can and need to rest. I could make this sound like this is easy or simple, but it's just not. I love control as much, if not more, than the next guy. But I think in the gift of Sabbath, God is reminding us that we need to relinquish this perceived control. And while at first it feels like having pride from tightly gripped fingers, the more we practice the habit of Sabbath, the more I think we can fully live into the blessed life that God has for us.